Sai Ram. It was the summer of 1978. Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, our beloved Swami, was returning from Ooty, a hill station in the Indian state of Tamil Nadu, along with students and a few devotees. As would happen during such travels, Swami stopped along the way for a picnic amidst nature. And as would happen during such stops, after the picnic, the students requested Swami for photographs. Swami would stand and each student and each devotee would come walking, stand by him, take a picture, move on, the next person comes. In fact, on a few occasions, Swami would say, "This is Jagat, Jagat, God is the only constant." Jagat, or the Sanskrit word for the world, is comprised of Ja and Gat. Ja means coming, Gat means going. Swami would say the world comes and goes. And he would refer to the students coming to him and going and saying, "This is Jagat, this is the world, comes and goes." The steady, constant presence is Swami. That is how he would say. So anyway, that is how it happened. There was a student who had a Polaroid camera. You know what's a Polaroid camera? A Polaroid camera, when you click a picture, it immediately gives you the photograph. So even as the photo is taken, the student can be given his picture with Swami. And as this got completed, all the students and the devotees got their chance to take photos with Swami. The student who had the Polaroid camera requested Swami for an individual picture of Swami. And Swami smiled, obliged and said, "Today I will show you my real form." And Swami posed. It was such a beautiful pose. And even as the student was about to click the picture, Mrs. Ratan Lal, an elderly devotee, moved to Swami to arrange his robe so that it's perfect. She wanted it to be picture perfect. But then suddenly Swami looked at her and said, "Hey, no, stop, go back, go back." Amazed and surprised at the way Swami reacted, she just moved back. And now the boy clicked. And as the camera clicked, out came the photograph. Everyone was dumbstruck, because instead of a picture of Swami in his orange robe, it was a picture of Lord Dattatreya with Swami's face, of course. And Swami then looked at Mrs. Ratan Lal and said, "Now do you understand why I told you not to come close? You wouldn't have been able to bear that jolt of energy." Dear brothers and sisters, our Swami is the embodiment of that supreme trinity of Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, Lord Dattatreya. And he has that immense energy and power pulsating. But out of immense compassion, karuna and love for us, he has covered that power and that energy with this beautiful loving form with the robe, so that he can dole it out to us in small measures which we can digest and relish. Many times his power reaches us in magical ways and we are not even aware. That is why Swami would say, after my darshan, find a quiet spot and sit, so that you may receive the completion of blessings. You do not understand the changes that happen within you with a mere darshan. Indeed, we are not aware of those changes. This episode happened in 1978. But even many years before, there were devotees who realized both these things. One, that Swami is Dattatreya, and two, that his darshan, sparshan and sambhashan, sight, touch and speaking, brings about changes which we ourselves are not aware. This beautiful incident is recorded in the June 1973 edition of the Sanatana Sarathi. It was the 5th of December 1972. Mr. K. Gurudutt, a retiree from the prestigious IAS, or the Indian Administrative Service, was taking rest at his home in Bangalore when his wife came and told him "Hey, Sathya Sai Baba, Swami has come to Bangalore. Let us go and have his darshan." Now, though his wife and other family members loved Swami and had faith in him, Mr. Gurudutt himself had his reservations. He was a staunch follower and devotee of Lord Dattatreya. In fact, that is how he had been named also, Guru Dutt. Dutt stands for Dattatreya, and Guru because he is considered as the Gurunam Guru or the Guru among all Gurus, Lord Dattatreya. So he did not want to go and offer his prostrations to Swami, but since his wife insisted and he was, in his late years of life, he agreed. Even his grandson Anand seemed very keen on seeing Swami, and so they set out in the evening for darshan. As they reached Whitefield Ashram, he saw that there were so many cars parked out, and that was their proof that Swami was in Vrindavan, because those days there was no internet, there was no mobile phone, nothing, right? Seeing was believing. So that is how he got his confirmation that Swami is indeed in Whitefield, Vrindavan. They went in, and there were many devotees who were seated under a tree, the Sairam shed as we call it. He saw at a distance the gates leading to Swami's bungalow residence. So, along with his grandson, he walked up right to the gate, wanting to go in and meet Swami. That is how one met Swami, he thought. But then he was told, no, you can't enter, you have to stay out. You have to be outside the gate. Swami will come when he will grant darshan. Okay, so they waited. He had arrived at around 4 p.m. and they began to wait. They waited and waited and waited. Half an hour, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 5:30, and no sign of Swami. And Mr. Gurudutt began to wonder, what is this? He keeps us waiting for so long. What? I don't think I'm interested in coming here. At the same time, it began to drizzle and rain. And as it began to rain, they had to find shelter because the canopy of the tree was already completely occupied. So Mr. Gurudutt, along with his grandson, walked up to the hostel that was there, the hostel building, and under one of the parapets of the windows, they stood so that they can be shaded from the rain. Till 6 o'clock, the rain went on, there was no sign of Swami, and Mr. Gurudutt decided, I am not going to come back here again. Even as he made that decision, the rain began to reduce and it stopped. Soon, the gates opened and out walked Swami in his beautiful orange robe with his beautiful angelic smile. Of course, that is what I am telling. Mr. Gurudutt didn't feel that at that time. He was just thinking, okay, once this is over, let me get back. Swami spoke to a few devotees and then headed straight towards him, came walking straight to him. And as he neared him, said, "Oh, you have come. I am so happy to see you." And Mr. Gurudutt was bold. He was bold. He was wondering, how he's greeting me with so much love. Everything that he had harbored, all the bad feelings, the wrong feelings, everything seemed to just dissipate and melt. And as Swami came closer, good feelings began to arouse within him. A transformation of the heart seemed to happen instantaneously. When Swami came really close, spontaneously, Mr. Gurudutt fell at Swami's feet, took namaskar. Swami bent down, held him by his right hand. He was an elderly gentleman, right? Held him by his right hand and raised him up. And then said, "Come." And Swami began to walk, holding his right hand. A strange sight indeed. Swami is walking for darshan, holding the hand of this person, Mr. Gurudutt. And his grandson Anand did not know what to do. So he too walked along with his grandfather. And Swami, for that darshan session, throughout was holding the right hand of Mr. Gurudutt, walking all around as he gave darshan. Even as they were going around, some people were tapping onto Mr. Gurudutt and saying, "You're very lucky, you're very lucky." And even as they said that, Mr. Gurudutt whispered back, "All Swami's grace, all Swami's grace." Look at that transformation, dear brothers and sisters. In an instant, from a skeptic and a critic, he became a devotee and he is acknowledging in all humility all Swami's grace. Having completed the darshan round, Swami waved his palm, created vibhuti and gave it to the grandson. And then looking at Guru Dutt, Swami said, "Come back tomorrow morning for darshan." And the person who had sworn never to come back here or anywhere for Swami's darshan was there back for the morning darshan. Of course, during that morning darshan, nothing as spectacular as this happened, or so we think. Because what happened was, Mr. Guru Dutt had a small problem in his right hand. In fact, it was not a small problem, it was a big problem. In January 1937, the 17th January to be precise, when Mr. Guru Dutt was the magistrate in Mysore, there was rioting that happened at the Saint Philomena's Church. The Saint Philomena's Church is a very famous and popular church in Mysore, and on the night of January 17th, there were riots. And being the magistrate, Mr. Guru Dutt was there to control the riots. And in that process, his right hand got severely injured. Though the injury healed, he found it extremely difficult to use his right hand for writing. Imagine, the right hand cannot write. And slowly the ability to write vanished. And within a year, he wasn't able to write anything. He could only make his signature. He could only make his signature with his right hand. So for the next 20 years of his service life, from 1937 to 1957 till he retired, he used to always use the typewriter. And it was sometime in this period, that he heard about Sathya Sai Baba, because during those days Swami also used to visit Mysore. And there were devotees who told him, Sathya Sai Baba is same as Dattatreya. They just would tell that, Whoever, if some Shiva devotee comes, they'll tell him, Swami is same as Shiva. If some Vishnu devotee comes, they'll tell, oh, Swami is same as Vishnu. So this is much before, 1978 was when Swami showed that proof in the Polaroid camera photograph. But this is, I'm saying, much before. So when people told him this, he would tell, if Sathya Sai Baba is God, let him heal my hand. This is what he said. 5th December 1972 was the first darshan he had. Within a fortnight, he noticed that he is able to write. The grandson Anand, who got that vibhuti from Swami, would tell his grandfather, you also take this vibhuti. So daily he was taking the vibhuti, and he had even forgotten about the challenge that he had thrown to Swami, saying that if Swami is God, let him cure me of my hand disability. And in a matter of 14 days, he got back the ability to write. He says, he held my hand and my hand became right. The right hand which was not right became right. This is the power of his presence. This is the power of his touch. This is the power of darshan. This is the power of sparshan, touch. This is the power of sambhashan, speech. Dear brothers and sisters, many times in our life, we come across Swami in many ways, through books, through dreams, through his presence being felt in multifarious ways. And we often underestimate the impact of such presence that we feel. Let us never forget that this is the most powerful force in the universe. Dattatreya, Lord Dattatreya, is a combination of Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the sustainer, preserver, and Shiva, Lord Shiva, the destroyer. All those powers rest at the lotus feet of our beloved Swami. That is why he told Ratanlal auntie, don't come close, you won't be able to bear it. And yet, he has given us so many opportunities to go so close to him. May we use those opportunities of becoming near to him to become dear to him. And as we bow down to our Lord, the Trinity, the Lord Dattatreya, the Lord Sai Dattatreya, may we always love him more and more. May the love in our heart for him keep growing every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.